Hi, good evening, Prof. This is the video for Business Ethics and Governance for assignment 4. So this is for question 1. If a company does not have an internal whistleblowing policy, advise the caller on the next appropriate or alternative course of action he can take. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this alternative action? So when a company does not have an internal whistleblowing policy, there are always alternative steps that a caller who wants to report a wrongdoing in the company can take in order to protect their interests. So the first thing actually they should do is to gather information, because they would need to have all the supporting documents in place to back up their claims. And if there is any witnesses, it will even strengthen their evidence or their claims. The advantages is because documentation is crucial, it becomes a supporting. The disadvantage is if it is suspected that the caller is actually gathering confidential information from the company, then they might be liable to any legal action. And worst is when you're suspected, then there is some discrimination that they can face from their management or supervisors, especially when the management or supervisor is involved, like they can be dismissed or demoted. Right. Second, they should reach out to their audit or HR team if they are confident that their audit or HR team is independent from management's from management. Then they should actually approach HR and voice out their claims, so that to either HR ataupun to audit, so that it will trigger an investigation or action to be taken. For example, like let's say if they were to highlight it to audit, then audit can actually do a report or something and then highlight it to the board of directors. The other thing is actually to report to external authorities, like to give a tip-off to regulatory bodies like Bank Negara or Bursa, so that then they can trigger an investigation or query to the company. Okay. Advantages of both of these actions is possible with strong evidence. External authorities or an authority within the company but external from management can initiate investigations into issue. The disadvantage is the caller has no protection and will face losing their job, or even worse, if they are well known, if it's a small industry, then their reputation, no one want to hire them, because it can be perceived as they are going against the company. Right. A bit extreme would be to actually contact the media or use media or social media to highlight their concerns. However, this should be a last resort. So the advantages is to bring attention or exposure or expose the issue to a wide audience in the hope that it will give weight and to start an investigation. The disadvantage is reputational risk to the company, and the caller can actually face legal implications. The company can sue the caller for exposing confidential information without proof or going through the process of having an investigation. And the final one, the caller itself should seek legal advice, because they should know how to protect their rights and what is the course of actions legally that they can pursue in the event this wrongdoing is exposed. So advantage is self-protection against any legal proceedings. Disadvantage is very costly, because the caller has to bear the cost themselves. Right. Second question, recommend steps to be taken to establish an internal whistleblowing policy in the caller's company. So in order to establish an internal whistleblowing policy, there are a few things that can be taken into consideration to ensure that the employees feel safe and supported when reporting their concerns. Here are some of the recommended steps to create an effective internal whistleblowing policy. So the first is to identify what is the objective and scope of the whistleblowing policy. And then to include, the policy can include financial misconduct, safety violations, ethical breaches, harassment, discrimination. Clearly define the scope to avoid confusion. Second is to seek involvement from multiple sources. So they should involve representatives from various departments so that including HR, legal, compliance, ethics and internal audit in the policy development process. This is to ensure that the policy is comprehensive and addresses the concerns of different stakeholders. The third is legal and regulatory compliance. Review relevant laws and regulations related to whistleblowing. Get external consultancy if possible. Ensure that your policy complies with these requirements to protect both the company and the whistleblowers. So under industry practice, it is good practice to seek out how other organizations set up their whistleblowing policy framework as a guide. And then number 5 is leadership support. Secure support from senior management and board of directors. Leadership commitment is crucial to fostering a culture of openness and ensuring that the whistleblowers are protected from retaliation. Number 6 is communication and training. Develop clear guidelines on how employees can report concerns and communicate the policy throughout the organization. Conduct training sessions to educate employees about the policy and their rights as whistleblowers. Number 7, reporting channels. Establish multiple reporting channels for employees to report concerns. This could include a designated email address, a confidential hotline, or a secure online platform. Make sure these channels are easily accessible and well publicized. Number 8, protection against retaliation. Clearly state what are the rights of the whistleblowers from retaliation. Include provisions for addressing any retaliation that may occur against whistleblowers. And number 9, promote the policy. Launch the whistleblowing policy with a communication campaign supported by management. So overall, in order to establish a transparent whistleblowing policy, you would need to have the support of management. Because without their support, then you cannot roll it out effectively. Okay, so now we move on to question number 2. For assignment 4, question 2. So the first part is describe stakeholders issues highlighted in the above case. So the first issue was there is a high staff turnover. The TESP's turnover rate is nearly 19%. So the salary offered, because the high turnover rate is due to the salary offered is not competitive enough to retain talented and skillful employees. In comparison, the industry pays 36% higher salary as compared to what the company is offering. That is also the reason why they are unable to retain fresh graduates, because after a year, they will move on to other places that offer a higher and competitive salary package. So second is operational issues. There were a number of operational issues due to fatigue because of as a result of overworking the existing staff in order to make up for the lack of resources due to high staff turnover. So for example, they had issues with higher medical leave, an alarming number of workplace related injuries. Both these are actually a cost to the company because higher medical leave means higher medical costs for the company. Alarming number of workplace related injuries means that you can be exposed. Not only were they in breach of the Employment Act, but you can also expose the company to any legal action by the staff, especially if it is found that the company did not take enough preventive safety actions. Okay, number 3, lack of clear succession planning. The staff do not see a future in the company. Even when the company organized training programs for its employees, they are not interested because they feel the training programs do not increase their career value and help them to earn a higher salary. When you don't have a clear succession planning, it is not a motivation for the staff to stay with the company, because they know that there is no career progression in place. And then 4 is a lack of integrity. The staff took advantage of the loophole caused by lack of supervision. So they forged signatures for attendance for other people. Therefore, the high overtime claims does not mean that the workers are actually working extra hours. They use this loophole as a way to earn additional money, and as some employees can earn double the amount of their monthly salary through an overtime claim. So next, suggest how AA should address. Next question is, suggest how AA should address the stakeholder concerns in context of corporate responsibility. So AA should work together with the CEO to address these issues and table to board for approval and endorsement to implement immediately. So first is with regards to the salary not being competitive enough, since it is below the industry by 36%. They should actually work together to come up with a remuneration committee to address this. So they should actually do a salary revision that is competitive in order to attract new talent and retain the existing workforce. In the meantime, the company should look into hiring part-time workers to cover critical areas so that existing workers can concentrate and focus on the job and have a work-life balance without sacrificing their health and safety. This is very crucial in order for the company to avoid being in non-compliance with the Employment Act. Third, TESB should also look into a clear succession planning and what is the substantial training requirement in order for the staff to go to the next level. When there is a transparent succession planning plan in place, staff will be motivated to retain and work towards a career path that is sustainable and achievable. TESB should also focus on installing corporate values to the team and relook at loopholes that the staff take advantage of. For example, they should implement a time attendance management system that would benefit the company in the long run and save manpower costs. Even though it might be initially expensive, but in the long run there is a lot of benefits. So this would actually help to reduce issues of the staff taking advantage of loopholes, like lack of supervision. Number 5, there should be also a periodic reporting to management on the progress of these initiatives and what is the outcome, in order to plan what would be the next course of action. So management should actually have, since these are critical areas of concern and action needs to be taken immediately, so there should be a reporting that is done on a periodic basis, maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, for management to keep track whether action is action being taken, or whatever action being taken, it is within the timeline or not. And then number 6, finally, there should be an engagement. There should be a frequent engagement with staff to obtain constructive feedback and to keep the staff updated on what are the actions being taken by management to overcome the shortcomings that they are facing. When you keep the staff involved, when management keeps the staff involved, when management keeps updating them, then the staff will be confident that management actually cares about their well-being and they are taking actions. So this will in turn inspire staff loyalty to the company. Hence, it will actually increase their sense of integrity. And this will, in the end, will benefit both the company and the staff in the long run. Thank you.